Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio for this today? Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for Welcome to My World. And this is the 11th of July, which is a Monday. And so I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and they're all ready to trade this morning. This is kind of a summertime Monday morning. We didn't have a heck of a lot of news this morning, and but overnight the markets did all trend up. They're all trading pretty much in unison today. It seems like there's not a heck of a lot of difference, but it looks like TF might be a little bit ahead of the others, but not by much. The big thing I see, it should, I don't know how many in this room are trading Nadex and trading currency pairs, but boy, the Japanese yen just flat fell. I mean, I don't know how many pips that is, but it's got to be a zillion. It looks to me like it started last night about midnight. Yeah, about 11 last night, midnight. And it's just, you rarely see that many 30-minute red candles, just one after another after another. It's been going on and on and on. I know that late last week there was some news from the Bank of Japan, but anytime those big central banks start making noise about their interest rates and what they're going to do and all this glorious quantitative easing and running their countries into the ground financially, pay attention to that, because those currencies can make some really nice trades, but that is a significant fall. Bonds had a really nice trade this morning, and boy, it made the I'll show you this on my camera. Let me drag my bond chart, find my mouse here, because this is right here, and this is the size of a chart that I use because I've got things kind of jammed up. I use a 4-tick chart on ZB, but this started right about, I don't know, 10:20, 10:30. And when Apex makes an E go in either direction on a 30-year bond, it's usually a good time to pay attention to that and kind of make an assessment. The thing of it is that trend R flipped right here. We got the trend catcher, we got an MVP, we got a red E. Everything was telling us right here. And if you just trailed this right on down and followed the Apex rules, this was a really, really nice trade. It took a while to get there. I mean, you were probably in that for an hour or so, and when you get past 10 ticks in bonds, I would be protecting profit for sure. David, no, I did not. I don't just trade crude oil. I've got alternative markets because some days I just don't like the crude oil bus driver. The red E doesn't have to have the MVP, but when it shows up about the same time, you have a significant management tool there. So that's, if you go back and look at some of the videos that Daryl has done about trading, how he trades, some of the things he does, I just flat can't sit through. He will use the MVP 10-minute chart to trade off of and use the deviation levels for his management tools, and I just can't do that. That's too much sitting and being. You have to have deep pockets, and you have to have the ability to have a pretty significant stop loss trailing. So, but the tools are all right there. I mean, that was a really nice trade. I know the early morning, about that same time, a little bit earlier, the indices had some nice trades. But Lori made a good point this morning for everybody. When they trend overnight, it's not likely to be a real successful morning unless you just happen to love chop. So the thing to notice, as she pointed out this morning in this chat, is that the VIX has come down off of its kind of lofty thing. It's right around 13th. It's trading 1330 right now. And what that tells us is that there's not going to be a significant amount of movement in these indices. And yeah, there'll be some little pops here and there from time to time. But don't expect that you're going to get these real big trending days when you've got a VIX that trades right around the 13 area. That's kind of its that's about its normal temperature. So if some of you are trying to figure out how you can watch the VIX if you have a little space on your monitor or whatever, there are various. You can get that off the CME website, and all I do is I strictly use it for a thermometer. It's got a temperature. I just kind of want to know about where it is. The CME website, which is now CME Group, has all kinds of information. I know Daryl recommends that if you've got the computer resources, if your computer system and your monitors will handle it. Redundancy in trading is always a good thing to have, and a freebie is Thinkorswim. We don't use Thinkorswim to trade with because the information you get off of it is not tick-by-tick data, so it's not as accurate as what NinjaTrader produces for us with the Apex signals. However, if you're in a trade and, I don't know, something happens to your feed with Ninja, or Ninja just has a bad hair today, whatever it is, you can at least see close enough to manage a trade where your trade is off of Thinkorswim. And the VIX is easily accessible. I don't know if you realize this. Some of you have that, and some of you are kind of looking at the idea of it. But you can detach their charts and then make them real teeny weeny. I use a little teeny weeny. It's like, I don't know, 2 inches by 2 inches stuck over in the corner that I just kind of monitor from time to time. Another thing that helps with these indices, especially in the summertime, is watching the ADD, the decline advance ratio on the S&P. I kind of like that. When it opens and you'll see it in a 5-minute chart go up or down, that's a help. And I haven't mentioned for quite a while the DAX, especially in the summertime. Watching the DAX and getting a feel for what it's done overnight is really helpful to see what the U.S. markets are likely to, a direction they're likely to take when they open. Because keep in mind, Europe leads the U.S. markets. And I think the cash close on the DAX is around 10:30 now. I get mixed up with the daylight savings time and which if we're using Eastern, Central, or German time. But if that has trended up overnight, that's a nice thing to just have in the back of your mind when you start looking at the NQ and the YM. So, and Ninja, if you have a demo account in Ninja, you can just add that to your instrument list and access it, make yourself a little Apex type chart on that. If you have a live account, then they want to charge you for the data feed, which may or may not be worth it to you. There are also websites on the on the internet, like just the generic ones, but I wouldn't really be trusting their data too much, because certainly not to try and trade the DAX with. But Yahoo Finance and silly stuff like that, it just gives you a ballpark idea of how Europe is perceiving things. So anyway, we got a bit of a recovery off of crude oil, not too much. The significant news in crude oil is that the rig count is coming up. It's been coming up over the last 5 weeks, but only in little, twosies and threesies, not anything really, really big. But those add up over time. And the reason that's important is that the rig count hit a low here about, 6 weeks ago. And it was kind of rattling things. But then as the Canadian oil is starting to come back online after that fire fiasco up there. So we'll have to, this is going to be kind of interesting over the summer. Typically in the summer, the price of crude oil will go up, and that's reflected also in gasoline prices and what have you. But this is kind of a different summer. So, yes, Raymond, you could grow an account from $100 on Nadex very, very carefully and with serious management. I don't recommend that. I don't think Daryl recommends that. It'd be a heck of a lot better to demo on Nadex until you really, 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 really have the confidence on it, and save some more money to put in your Nadex account. But yes, $200 to $500 is a heck of a lot better, and more is even better than that. But I would suggest you not try to trade that live with less than $500 in your account, and only if you have really good confidence. Money management, you got to manage those trades. One of the things that I understand Nadex is working on at great request is adding trailing stops, and I think that's going to help traders manage a lot better, because no, Nadex is not adding that. Okay, Lori tells me I'm off base there, but Apex is. Okay, that's, I knew trailing stops were being added. Apex is adding those. So that'll be very, very, very helpful. And people are pointing out that they've lost some significant money in Nadex on the demo. So it's really, 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 that's what demo is for, is to click the buttons and make the mistakes and then learn. You stub your toe, you learn that's smart not to do that again. So use those demo accounts until you really have the confidence, and you're not making silly mistakes, and you'll still make silly mistakes. I mean, all of us do. I've put in trades. I put in a trade the other day, and I sold it when I meant to buy it, and I thought, well, how dumb can you be? But it happens to all of us. So the idea is just, I mean, I've seen Daryl do that too. You're thinking about 500 things and something else happens and you just click in the wrong place. But demo accounts, demo, and get very clear with yourself what you're doing. I mean, what kind of a trade is this? Why am I taking it? Where am I getting out? Why am I getting out there? What time of day is it? All kinds of things. So anyway, and I know that scanner is very helpful, but demo, and especially if you are going to trade futures, demo those futures until you know exactly where those entries are and what kind of a trade you're taking, where you're getting in, where you're getting out, why. You'll never, ever get all the ticks that were available, in a perfect world. Nobody ever does. But a good trader is happy with 60% of that move. And repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Nadex spreads, I don't trade those, David. I'm happier and more comfortable trading futures. But one of these days, I keep saying, I'm going to devote a little more time to doing that. I seem to, right now, I've just got way too many things on my plate to take on anything else. But I'm much happier doing futures. I know there are a lot of people who trade Nadex spreads, and Daryl loves those things. He trades those heavily. That's his prime time go-to trading, are those spreads. So, and today, people that are looking at iron condors, gold has been in a very tight range literally all morning. So doing condors and premium collection trades on gold would have been a good thing this morning too. So anyway, tomorrow morning we have got on our news calendar, let's see, we got not too much. 10 o'clock is Joel's Jobs. We've got a couple of the members of the Brain Trust speaking at 9:15 and 9:35. 7 o'clock, I'd be a little careful if you're trading anything that has to do with the British pound or the euro, because the Bank of England is putting out their quarterly bulletin. I think it's probably baked in the cake by now, and then 1 o'clock tomorrow will be the 10-year bond auction, 101 to be precise. That the symbol on the 10 years is ZN. If you haven't looked at that and you're interested in starting to watch bonds, that's a good place to start. So anyway, I think that's about it. I think Lori is going to go into the conference room and go over some trades that she made this morning, and we'll be happy to go over trades that you made. So if you wanted extra help, and that's